Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, boys and girls, and anybody else that doesn't fit into any of those other categories, welcome back to the AirMech 1v1 half loadout tournament finals, best of 3, featuring Dissonant versus MsMinx. In quite possibly the largest AirMech betting pool OPTV has ever seen for any one individual match or series brackets. This is unbelievably crazy, folks. So you better all drive up the hype in the chat right now, because you guys have invested 588 total OP marks on the outcome of this best of 3 finals. I can't believe it, guys. It is awesome. It is amazing. All the hype. That chat should be exploding, and you guys should be showing your love and your support for these players like crazy. Did you bet on Dissonant, or do you want to see Dissonant win? Make your name a shade of red right now. Cheer him on. Be those crazy sport fans in the bleachers. Cheer him on. Show him that love. He needs it. And he catches out MsMinx. MsMinx caught with her pants down. Well, I should say her sniper rifle down. But it's like being caught with your pants down after she took so many in-the-face shots from that Goliath. He flies by at just the right opportunity, shoots her down, and gets the credit for taking out that Goliath. Perfect timing on Dissonant's part. And speaking of crazy sport fans and colors, are you betting on MsMinx? Are you supporting MsMinx? Make your name a shade of blue. Show that love, show that support. Because right now, she might actually be at a disadvantage, and she might desperately need that love and support, folks. Dissonant at 21 units out on the battlefield. MsMinx with only 7 upkeep. 3 of that upkeep is in levelers. The other 4 is in T99. She is massively focusing on nothing but her mech. She's taking another level-based approach. She has 3 levels out on the battlefield, 2 more in her build queue, level 4 currently, 2 levels of XP boost. Trying to upgrade her Angel as much as that she can, using the loop-de-loop as well, but Dissonant right now in a commanding position on this battlefield, taking out that leveler in the process, level 2 to level 4, but Dissonant right now, look at his units, guys. 6 Dillos on the battlefield, 5 more in the build queue, 5 Flackers, 2 Patchers, and Flackers will decimate an Angel. Meanwhile, MsMinx, she brought levelers, Patchers, T99s, and then Devastators. So she is extremely dependent on hitting that level 9. Dissonant in a great position right now. MsMinx trapped down by a Neo. She gets Stasis Blast. Can she survive this? She sneaks into her T99s just enough. She might actually survive this. That was incredibly close. Dissonant almost getting another kill. Perfect timing on the Stasis Blast. He just couldn't do enough damage fast enough to actually secure him the kill. MsMinx still not giving up, coming in, sniper rifling over and over, but she's going to reach a point where she's got to realize that she is up against 14 Dillos, 4 more in the build queue, 7 Flackers, 2 more in the build queue. Dissonant also using Moneymaker, so he's been able to keep up building these Dillos so much that MsMinx right now is being outproduced practically 3-1. And keep in mind, a lot of her upkeep is actually on those levelers. The only offensive unit that she has is her sniper rifle, and then 1799. She's still 3 levels away from her Devastator. Loop-de-loop once again. Dissonant this time will give up the chase. He realizes MsMinx had a lot of health still remaining, and he figured it was best to give up the chase instead of continuing to go off for it. 3.5 minutes into the battle, 1 minute until those 20,000 credit lock boxes spawn. Whoever gets those lock boxes could potentially dictate the entire battle. Dissonant clearing out those levelers desperately needs to be done. He needs to do whatever he can to prevent MsMinx from hitting level 9. Without level 9, the only thing she has is her sniper rifle and these T99s. She's massively fortifying this outpost. She's expecting a custom pathing. She knows everything Dissonant has is pretty much right here. And for Dissonant to try to move it to any other significant place, it would take a long period of time, unless he uses a custom V-path. If he uses a custom V-path, He could completely catch her off guard, and she has no idea where to go. Level 7 now. She's about to die. If she dies right now, it will be critical. And she does, folks. 10 seconds until lockboxes spawn up. Dissonant doing a victory dance in the air because he knows that he is most likely going to get both credit boxes. Here they are up, 4.5 minutes in the game. Dissonant tries to get the first one. Fails initially. He picks it up. Minx still not back in the game. She now gets into the game. Does she grab the other credit box fast enough? Or will Dissonant be there? Get the other one. She actually flies by, but she doesn't see it. She doesn't get it. Dissonant, in the end, gets both credit boxes. 40,000 plus credits in his advantage when he's already holding such a commanding lead to begin with. Minx desperately needed at least one of those credit boxes, if not both. She does not get it. Dissonant capped out. 60 units on the battlefield. He cannot build anything more, and at this point, he will deploy out, and what can Minx do about it? She's got 9 T99s, 3 more to deploy out, 8 patchers. She's going to start selling off those levelers because she knows she needs the money, and most likely they won't last long anyway, so you might as well sell them, get the credits, and try to build something. She is 1 level away from being able to even build Devastators, but even if she was to ding up right now, she doesn't have the money to afford them. Meanwhile, Dissonant, 36 Dillos, 2 patchers, 13 flackers. How, as an angel, can you even get near this? And Dissonant is not even caring about the outpost. He realizes he has so much. He wants to push it straight onto the fortress itself. Can these units overpower these 4 T99s that are here? Minx desperately needs more T99 support, but she almost dies herself because there is 10 flackers in here. She gets off to the side, just out of the range of the flackers, trying to deploy more T99s. Her base taking a lot of damage, but she may still be able to survive this, folks. And not only survive this, but maybe still turn out. Dissonant went pretty much all in. There's not much of anything that he has left. She almost dies again. She keeps bringing out those T99s. She should have brought more T99s over than she did because she has taken way too much damage. She's down to about 10% base health left, making it now that her base is extremely vulnerable to just hit and run, drop, ninja drop attacks, especially in a Neo. Dissonant just needs to cloak. Get in there, drop stuff off. It will be extremely hard for her to deal with. She needs to massively button up her fortress and just try to hold out. She's trying to do exactly that, using patchers as much of a meat shield as they can be. The patchers will continue to constantly heal themselves if she can get a good enough line of patchers developed. And the patchers continue to keep healing themselves over and over again. She might somehow be able to pull a rabbit out of her hat and still make this happen. She is now at level 11. Her sniper rifle is pretty strong. She is building 1 Devastator. She needs to get more, but she has to be so careful. Dissonant, so much map control right now. Able to dictate all the action. Minx cannot lose, cannot have a single hole anywhere in her defenses. She realized that. She pulls the T99s back. In this case, it's a good call. It's more worthwhile to have those T99s closer to your base than it is to have them on the socket. Dissonant finds a hole. About one of the only holes that there could possibly be. He finds the hole. The tanks are still doing damage. Minx drops down a Devastator to try to just act as more base protection. Dissonant once again coming in, trying to find another hole. Can't get the hole in that time. But the hole that he found right over here, folks, was perfect. Is that hole still accessible now, or with Minx dropping that Devastator here, did that plug up the hole? If it plugged up the hole, okay, that's not supposed to do that. Okay, hello? Hello, mouse. Come on, this is a good game. Please, mouse. Oh my god, James! Boblin! Finally, thank you. Sorry, guys. Alrighty. So, after we slightly missed out on some of the action right there while things went a little bit cuckoo, We are back in the game. Dissonant once again trying to drop it down. He drops the Dillos right in front of the T99s. The T99 is far more survivability than a Patcher would. They destroy it without taking any damage. But now Minx, because she has devoted almost everything to defending her fortress because she cannot let it take damage, it leaves her outpost completely vulnerable, and potentially, even if Dissonant will not be able to break through this line of defense, he could potentially win this entire war through attrition. Minx could only take maybe 1-2 hits at absolute most of overtime damage. I don't think she could even survive a single one. I think the damage is so much on her base, and her base health is so low, that any overtime damage, any domination damage will mean her death. This one outpost is all that stands between essentially victory and defeat. Dissonant once again pushing him, but he will not go for a custom path to try to take out the outpost. Instead, he will push everything that he basically has into the fortress itself. The fortress now at this point too heavily defended to take on just a few Dillos. You've got 2 Devastators and all those T99s with Patcher support blocking almost every possible area that you could shoot. And it will give Minx an opportunity to start trying to reclaim the territory. Can this be one of the best comebacks in AirMech history? Right here, right now. Minx at level 13. About to max out her sniper rifle. She is buttoning up every single inch of her fortress. She knows she cannot take any more hits. She's down to only 4% base health left. You can't risk it at all. She throws away 1 Devastator. Has one over here. She's taken back this outpost. Dissonant right now, 25 on his upkeep, but all he has now is Dillos, and unfortunately for him, his biggest window of opportunity is gone. Minx now level 14, as we always say here on OPTV, Angels are late game mechs. They need a minimum of level 10 to become viable, but once they hit level 10, they start becoming incredibly viable. And then especially at level 13, Minx is now level 14. That sniper rifle can literally one-shot a Dillo. And at level 14, you have so much energy, and she is using Energy Guardians on top of it, that she can wipe out almost that entire army that Dissonant has without even needing to go back to recharge. So long as she doesn't get shot up, which right now she's incredibly shot up. She goes in the air, she loop-the-loops, goes back down to the ground thinking that Dissonant was going to pursue, but Dissonant's so close to death himself, cannot follow it up. She survives at a critical point, gets back, saves that Devastator that should have been dead. Dissonant once again will push in on the fortress. He will not try to get map control. Correction, after it gets all the way to the fortress, he is now here, he's now redirecting, he will go for this outpost. Had Minx not gotten back this outpost over here, she would be in a lot of trouble right now. But since the fact that she at least got that outpost back, she still is okay. One-shotting everything. Dillos, one-shot. Flackers, one-shot. And Devastators utterly obliterate things. Can she completely fight back into this? She is now, though, upkeep locked. And sadly for her, she cannot risk sending any of her units out from the base. If she does, it will leave a hole somewhere. And she cannot risk a hole. She is too low on health. A hole could mean her utter demise. Dissonant trying to take out these Devastators. Minx trying to use the Devastators in leapfrog style, using the carry capacity of the Angel to bring them in and out, neutralize that outpost. She desperately needs this power station back. Because as you know, folks, not only having outposts doesn't initially mean that you get more upkeep, but power stations provide even additional upkeep on top of that. She needs it so she can build more attack units and push out. She gets that power station online, as you see now suddenly, bam, 49 upkeep. She can queue up another Devastator. Dissonant, flying around, dealing with all those T99 missiles flying around all over the place. This has to be so frustrating, folks. How many times have one of you been in one of these situations where you are pretty much in control of everything, but someone just has everything buttoned up in just the right way? And also make sure that you don't get control of the entire map, that you can't do those last few hits. We've all been there, where our enemy's fortress is virtually, the life is so low that you don't even see the indicator on the map. But you just can't get in and get the job done. And that is exactly what Dissonant is going through right now. He knows he has her, but she just did the absolute perfect buttoning up of this situation. And it could just make it almost impossible without some really well thought out strategy for Dissonant to break through. Dissonant does have an 85 max upkeep, but everything he has is light, cheap, frail units. Flackers, Dillos, Patchers, Moneymakers. Even building up 100 units. Can he still, even with 100 Dillos, could he still break through? Or would, between the Devastators and the T99, still be able to push, still be able to stop 100 Dillo push? It is quite possible with that Angel sniper rifle. As long as Minx sits far enough back so she can keep sniping them out and letting those T99 survive and letting those Devastators work it. If she plays this smart and methodically, she could completely fight her way back into this. The main thing is that is her biggest danger is Dissonant getting domination and then that 30-second delay. Her base is too weak to survive domination damage. And she knows it. And that is why she is doing everything in her power to avoid Dissonant from that happening. And that's what I'm talking about, folks. The power of that sniper rifle. Look at how many of those Dillos she clears out without even having to go back. Dissonant has to be so frustrating for him right now. To have somebody this much against the ropes, but you just can't get it to happen. Minx is so upkeep locked. 42 out of 34. At this point, folks, think if you're in this situation and you're Minx, what do you even do? What I'm thinking, as an Angel, you have that sniper rifle. You need to, because you will never win if you can't ever push out. And you know Dissonant, using Dillos and Flackers, he can rebuild his army incredibly fast. And Dissonant typically won't push out until he feels it's right. So Minx has one or two options. She either tries to pretty much manually eliminate almost every unit Dissonant produces until the point that Dissonant just does not have the funds anymore to do it. And then she starts to regain territory and could eventually outproduce him. She can use the sniper rifle and just continue to try to keep killing tanks faster than he can replace them and rebuild them with his money. In order to do that, though, she definitely needs to take out those 7 Moneymakers that are still online. Or lastly, you just take your Angel as a sniper and you just come up to the fortress and you just shoot right into the corner and just do what you can during opportunities. The problem is the opportunities are far few and in between. Dissonant as a Neo right now, incredibly difficult to kill. With that ultimate ability, it causes missiles to not be able to lock onto him, which is why he can stay at this outpost with level 4 creeps in here and not even take any damage. Once again, pushing through, Dissonant will go for every outpost. He's taken over the one on this side right here. He's going for that final power station. He has enough forces potentially to take it over if he can manage them properly and keep Minx away. But Minx, level 15 Angel, so difficult to kill. Has enough hit points, has enough firepower, and that loop-to-loop makes it that much harder. The only way that he could really even have a chance of killing her is what he just did. When she's down on the ground, you stasis blast her, she can't get away, and then you hopefully have enough flackers to finish the job. There is a hole. There's domination, 30 seconds. Can Minx undo this in 30 seconds? But more importantly, there are now holes in her defenses. If Dissonant can slip something into one of these holes, or just the creeps alone, shooting it on the side, not being stopped fast enough, Minx has no health left at all. There's nothing left to talk about, folks. Dissonant dying. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. She neutralizes it with less than 3 seconds to spare. Oh my god, guys. This is still not potentially GG yet. Dissonant at level 12, level 13, takes a long time to respawn back. Minx trying to do what she can to eliminate everything that Dissonant has here. If Dissonant loses all these units, folks, he has nothing really left on the battlefield. And that cost of that respawn was very high. He has 8 Dillos left, 3 Flackers. He's just trying to stasis and shoot it himself. He can't make it happen. He's even getting frustrated going, WTF. There is nothing left. You could sneeze on Minx's fortress and it would die. And he can't get it to happen. This has got to be the most frustrating situation. And he just can't get it. He has lost all of his units on the battlefield. But he doesn't need the units now. He just needs to sneeze. He cloaks. He tries to find the hole. He finds the hole. He lands it. He stays his blast. And he will secure the win. Wow, guys. Unbelievable fight. And this is just game 1 of the series. This is just game 1. What is going to happen in games 2 and 3? I have no idea. You need to stick around. You need to see who is going to dominate this battle. This is a fantastic finals, folks. Dissonant is up 1 game. Can Minx come back? Will Dissonant take this in a 2-game sweep? There's only one way to find out, folks, and that is to keep your butts right where they are and don't go anywhere, because we've got more OPTV coming up in just a moment.